Imagine the precision, energy, and leadership required to guide an entire marching band, each movement synchronized with the wave of your hands. This is the role of the drum major, a unique and fascinating microculture within the marching band world. In this presentation, I'm going to explore why drum majors form their own microculture, examine their beliefs and values, discuss their behaviors, communication patterns, share interesting facts, and conclude with why the role is significant. This will highlight not only what makes drum majors essential, but how they represent a culture of discipline, leadership, and passion that stands apart from all mainstream groups. So, to start, to understand why the drum major community qualifies as a microculture, we need to delve into their beliefs, values, and what attracts members to the role. Drum majors value leadership, discipline, and musical excellence. For instance, when I was drum major this season, a lot of the like role of the drum major is to push other people to be better at their music and better at their marching, and really just have them focus on the fundamentals and kind of working as a cohesive unit on everything from the ground up. Um, their core belief revolves around guiding the band to peak performance, balancing the needs of individuals with the success of the whole group. So that especially I can speak to. The role of drum major is not only leading the band, but it's also being the person who the band can talk to. So in a lot of instances, um, in my personal experience, I became a sort of therapist and helped people through problems that they were having in school, in other clubs, in home life. In a lot of ways, like you become the overarching person that they can come to with problems that stems from anything. And even if it's like scuffles in between in sections and everything with like other people, you're kind of the mediator of everything. And even if they have problems with adults at any point, like even if like they're having problems with like the band director and how they're treating them, we are kind of the only role that can really kind of speak an equal playing field and can kind of deal with all those problems. So they also uphold the idea that music is not just a performance, but a means of emotional and cultural expression. Drum majors often embody characteristics like confidence, determination, and a sense of responsibility uh, as they serve as the bridge between the band director and the band members. So yeah, like um, genuinely, marching band as a group, the entire performative like value of it is underlooked by a lot of people. I mean, you can have such an abstract idea as like emotions or colors um, come out within music and a couple of props and a couple of silks, right? And that's all um, embodied by the drum major who has to kind of like push people to to strive for their best and like work towards this common goal of having a show put on. So an example of this is if I talked about the show that I was in this year as a drum major. It was basically a show about making your own luck, gambling, but not really. It was more of a positive spin on like how you have to kind of work for things and make your own luck instead of trying to like get lucky and hope that you like have a good life or you hope that you like be successful, right? And the idea of that, like obviously the message of the show can't be conveyed because we don't speak. I mean, there's a couple of like voiceovers, but it's like 4 to 5 words, like 3 times maybe. It doesn't convey the whole overarching idea through that. That's only conveyed through the musicality, the body that they would do with like playing and everything like that. And especially within the drum majors, the conducting that we do, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to show what you want to do while keeping time. So you might like conduct with one hand and show a um, some sort of a like emotional quality within your conducting instead of only keeping it to a steady beat. Yeah. Those who are drawn to becoming drum majors often have a strong sense of commitment to music and have a natural affinity for leadership. The role requires both technical skill in conducting and the ability to motivate and inspire others. That last part's definitely true. If you can't inspire others when they're sweating in like 100-degree summer heat on a terribly hot day for like the ninth hour in a row, then you really can't do the job. You got to be able to motivate people. This makes drum majors distinct from other band members as they need to be equally comfortable giving instructions and being role models. Traits such as a strong work ethic, communication skills, and the ability to remain calm under pressure are almost genetic to this microculture, as they are key to fulfilling the drum major's duties successfully. And that last part of remaining calm under pressure is probably the most like important thing out of all of it, because no matter what, your band is taught to trust you and is taught to rely on your time. So if you are ever, I mean, slightly off, or like you can't have a moment where you blank and you don't know what you're doing. You can't not know the exact tempo that you're going to count off before you count it off. Like there is no room for error. So being able to kind of work under extreme pressure when basically 90 kids, like all their hard work is waiting on you to be able to conduct something correctly or give the time that will help in a severely like technical portion of the music or whatever of the show, like that. If you don't have that, it's not happening. So drum majors display distinct behaviors and communication patterns that set them apart from the dominant culture of the marching band. For one, their form of communication is largely nonverbal, relying on gestures, eye contact, and body movements. Again, going back to like when I'm conducting, I'm obviously giving time, but in everything else, the only way for me to communicate, I can't talk, I can't yell, do anything like that, is by making other gestures, my body language. If I'm looking, if it's a sad portion of the music, I'm going to look smaller. I'm going to attempt to feel more flowy because it's going to be a slower piece. It's going to be more angelic. There's a lot of different things that you can do to convey things as a drum major and that you have to do without words. You very rarely, I mean, for performances, you never get to use your words, but like even in rehearsals, it's very quick. Like this is the instructions. Let's go. Let's do this thing. And it's not like I can't like be like, oh, you can take a day. No, it's very straight and to the point, militaristic in some ways. This contrasts with the verbal instructions typically given in the rehearsals. Yeah, what I just said. Yeah. Another unique behavior is the way they carry themselves. Posture, presence, and sharp, decisive movements become part of their identity. These behaviors extend beyond the performance field and are often evident in rehearsals, where drum majors must balance assertiveness with support for their peers. That's a big one. That's honestly one of the hardest ones, because even if you're friends with people, like as the drum major, you have to put that aside and be like, if they're not doing their job, or if they're not like doing the right thing in a moment, you have to be assertive and be like, hey, you need to fix this, even if you're like best friends with the person. It's really hard. This creates a sense of respect and hierarchy within the band, reinforcing the drum major's leadership role. Unlike the broader band culture, where members are often bond through informal communication and shared social experiences, the drum major must maintain a level of professionalism and distance, ensuring their leadership is respected. Yeah, that's a hard one to have. A lot of times, at least from my experience, there's a lot of ways to kind of mesh with the band while still keeping your distance. Like a lot of the distance is kind of kept because you're on a podium all the time, obviously, in rehearsals, but you're also never doing what they're doing. If they're practicing their music, they're practicing their marching, most likely I'm not doing that. I'm practicing my conducting. I'm managing things and trying to get people like music or dot books or whatever. Like there's a bunch of other things that I'll do, which will physically create distance between people. But the job of the drum major is to have that distance when you need it and also be close when you don't want that. And that's where it comes in, where you have to build connections and make sure that you're bringing people together, become friends. You basically have to become friends with basically everybody. And if you don't like anybody, sucks for you. You have to kind of learn how to be nice to them and work with them. So it's a very overarching thing. So some interesting facts. The selection process, at least from my point of view, from my high school, it acts basically as an interview process. You go through a questionnaire beforehand that you fill out, that the band director looks at, and it's a lot of questions on like what you would do as a leader, what leadership didn't do well last year, excuse me, and other problems, and things that they would want to know your unique perspective on. And then, at least for the drum major interview, you are then asked more questions in person where you have to answer them in front of 3 to 4 people who are usually your band director, your assistant band director, your color guard director, and your music director. So you have to be able to speak to adults and answer their questions and everything on the spot. And then you also have to conduct a portion and be receptive to the criticism of the band director who's trying to make your conducting the best it can be. The unique training, a lot of the times we would have sessions with our band director where he would go through the videos of our previous rehearsals or performances, and we'd pick apart each main phrases or whatever and talk about what we could change in our conducting, our body language, our faces. A lot of times, I completely forgot to mention that your face is honestly like the way that you carry, like your facial expressions help a lot when you're conducting and trying to convey something. Symbolic uniforms, we always usually wear some sort of a distinguishing uniform. So for us, the shoulder blades was usually orange for the normal band members, and for us it's white, and then we have a white sash across our body, and we'd have white gloves instead of black gloves, and a big white plume coming out of our hat. So we had certain distinguishing characteristics that lets other people know that we're drum majors, but also helps to create that distance and create that hierarchy. The salute, so that's one that's actually fun. Each band has a different salute. A lot of the times, you're always going to have like your normal salute like this that you'll do. It's always a part of your salute, but I mean, a lot of bands do different stuff. Like they'll do like for us, we've done consistently a hat flip where we would flip it 360 and hold it on the top and stuff. That's part of our salute. And then for awards, our salute would be completely different. We'd have a card flying out because gambling, luck, all that kind of stuff meshed in. But yeah, all that kind of stuff. It kind of just depends, but you'd have to practice it a lot and do it in front of a bunch of people. And if you mess up, you're getting videoed probably, so that's unlucky. Leadership beyond the band. So drum majors often develop leadership skills that extend beyond the band. For me, especially, the confidence that you get from being a drum major. I mean, obviously, when you start, you're just like, I'm gonna die because there's so many people in front of you. Everything is weighing on you, and especially in the beginning, you're just kind of thrown in the deep end, and you have to kind of figure things out for your own. So, it sucks, but that's kind of how it goes. And a lot of the times in life, that's how you have to kind of work with things. So, that's useful. A lot of times, like my communication skills are so much better after being drum major. Like I know how to talk to people, know how to deal with like small problems with people that are like having. It's just so much easier after having the experience. So those are just a couple. So in all, drum major microculture is a unique blend of leadership, discipline, and musical expertise that stands apart from the broader culture of the marching band. Within their distinct values, communication patterns, and specialized behaviors, drum majors embody a leadership role that is critical to the success of the band as a whole. Their impact goes beyond music, fostering a culture of respect, hard work, and unity that resonates within and beyond the field. This microculture not only enriches the band, but also shapes the individuals within it into strong, capable leaders. Thank you.